back to my YouTube channel, or welcome if you're new here. Today I have a super exciting video because I finally got tagged to do a tag. Like what? Whenever I do tag videos, I just do it because I want to, not because somebody thought of me. But today, my friend Kirsten from Kirstens Corner tagged me in this tag called Can't Say I Didn't Try book tag, and I'm super excited to do this one. So make sure to check out my friend Kirsten. I'll link her channel down below with the original creator of this tag. So without further ado, let's talk books. The first question is, a book should have DNF'd. And for this one, I'm going with The Tourist Attraction by Sarah Morgenthaler. Sorry if I said that wrong. This was a book that I read for the DCG Games readathon. This was the group book, and I was one of the few people who actually pushed through it and was able to finish it. There were 30 people in my group, I think 3 finished it, the rest DNF'd, and I should have done that. This book was painful to get through. So this is a romance book following our main character that moves into Alaska, and insta love, she falls in love with the bartender. If I remember correctly, I don't even know anymore. Like, I remember zero about this book. It was just so forgettable, so boring, so repetitive. I just didn't care for it at all. So I definitely think I should have DNF'd this. Like everyone else in my group, this was just super chunky and super painful. The second question is, most books you've read without finishing a series. I'm not a series person. For this exact reason, I have trouble continuing on with this story. I prefer standalones. I just feel like it's done, it's over, I read it and it's good. The only one I can think of is The Diviners by Libba Bray. I started the series last year and I just got through the first one. I do plan on eventually finishing the series, but I'm in no rush to do it. The series I did start last year were Divergent, Hunger Games, the Pretty Little Liars series. So those I did finish, but this one was just not a priority for me. This book follows these kids with supernatural abilities. They're called the Diviners, and they're being killed. And it's a very interesting story. I love the vibe this gave off, but it didn't interest me enough that I had to buy the second book immediately and stop everything to read it. I put this down and I'm like, maybe one day I'll continue on with the series. So this one. The third prompt is a hyped author you just can't get along with. So for this one, I'm going with Sarah J. Maas. She has extremely popular books like ACOTAR and Throne of Glass. I haven't read Throne of Glass, but I'm finishing this one. I have one book left in the series, and even though they are interesting and I do finish the books, they're not my sort of thing. I'm not a fantasy reader. Even though I tried, I still feel like fantasy isn't my favorite genre, and this is not my sort of book, so that's why I struggle a little bit with this series. It is interesting, the characters are extremely fun to read about, but I just don't find myself going crazy over this story or wanting to finish it immediately. I feel like without BookTube, I probably wouldn't have finished it on my own. I finished it because I want to have a full series on my channel where I read the ACOTAR series. So yeah, I'm going with Sarah J. Maas. The next one is a genre you rarely read from. I feel like I kind of spoiled this question with the last one. Fantasy and romance. I can't get into those. I mean, granted, I haven't given romance a fair chance yet, like fantasy. I do have a video coming soon, hopefully, where I will probably change that. But so far, those are the genres that I struggle the most with to find books that I actually enjoy or books that I'm actually interested in. Question number 5, the most elusive book. A book or edition you can't get your hands on. Oh, I know. It's the super expensive rare edition of A Series of Fortunate Events by Lemony Snicket. I'll put the picture here. It's so pretty. The spines make a drawing together where it says A Series of Fortunate Events, and it's extremely expensive. I would die for it, so definitely that one. The next question is, a book or author who keeps getting getting recommended to you, but you know you won't enjoy. For this one, I'm going with Lauren Oliver. I've had people in my comments say, oh my god, I'm reading this book, it's so much fun, you should give it a go. And I'm not shaming you guys, thank you for giving me recommendations. I'm here for this. I'm here because I want to try out new books and get some recommendations from my lovely subscribers, but this is just an author I can't get along with. I've read 2 of her books and both of them were bad in my opinion. I did not like them. They were both in my worst books of the year of 2020. I'll link that video in the cards if you want to check it out. So I feel like I have a pretty solid answer for this one as I've tried her books and I just know they're not for me. The next question is a book which has a better cover in a different language. So for this one, I'm going with Lolita. This is my English cover. I have the 50th anniversary edition. Don't get me wrong, this is absolutely stunning. I love it. But this is my Portuguese edition. I just feel like this one fits the vibe of the book a little bit more. I like this one. It's pretty, I like it. I feel like it fits. So this one. The next question is a book you've only seen the movie or TV adaptation for. I'm going with Call Me By Your Name by Andre Asimon. I still haven't read the book. I want to though. This is just hopefully a temporary setback and I do plan to read this soon, but so far I've only watched the movie because of Timothée Chalamet, and yeah, so I feel like this one fits. The next question, a book you wouldn't watch if it got adapted. And for this one, I'm going with The Cellar by Natasha Preston. This was a great thriller, but it was a great thriller because it was in a book form. I feel like if it were to be adaptation, it would be either extremely cringy or weird to look at. This is a story about a man who kidnaps these girls and holds them in his cellar and calls them by flower names. And even though this looks like something a movie could take away from, I just feel like it would have been cringy. The dialogue isn't the best in this book, and if they were to keep that in the script, I would just be extremely uncomfortable, and I feel like people wouldn't get really thrilled because in the book you're following along with these girls and you're rooting for them. In the movie, I feel like it would have all been super quick and you wouldn't have time to get attached to these girls. So definitely this one. The 10th question is a series that shouldn't have been continued, and this is extremely easy. Just like Kirsten said, Divergent by Veronica Roth. This first book is extremely amazing. We have a perfect storyline, the characters are interesting, the plot is amazing. It just worked. And then she decided to continue on with the series and just went downhill from there. The books didn't make sense anymore. The characters lost their sparkle. The story just kind of got lost and it just didn't work out. She should have just stayed with this one and she would have been fine. I do have reading vlogs for all of those books if you're interested in seeing me be disappointed. And the last and final question, a trope that puts you off picking up a book. And for this one, I recently found out about this ick of mine with this trope, and that's miscommunication. I despise miscommunication in books. They just don't work for me. I get mad. I don't like that whole vibe of it. They could have just talked. All of this would have been okay. I just find them annoying. I kind of stop liking the characters when they miscommunicate. It's just not for me. I can see why it can appeal to some people, but it just doesn't work out for me. It's not my favorite thing to read about. I am tagging you to do this if you find this interesting or if you like the questions. Feel free to do this video and say that I tagged you. I would love to watch your video. And yeah, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If yes, give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe down below to be part of this wonderful family. I would love to have you here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!